Hey sis, each month inside Entrusted Women University, we feature a brand new interview. You can watch the full interview only in Entrusted Women University, but you can check out this snippet right now. Hey friends, I hope you guys are doing well. Listen, I am excited to talk to Ashley Morgan Jackson. I've been trying to track this girl down for probably 3 years. No, two.
Yeah, probably about that. Yeah.
2 years, but we got her. So woo woo woo. This is about to be such a great interview. I can't wait to talk to her. And just in case you don't know who she is, let me read her bio and give you all the things, and then we're gonna get into some Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay. Ashley Morgan Jackson is an author, speaker, and social media strategist, most deaf, dedicated to helping women embrace God's unconditional love and step confidently into their God given purpose. Through her best selling book, Tired of Trying, and I know we all tired of trying on Instagram. We just, the algorithm be
Amen.
like, wah, wah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
And over a decade of ministry, Ashley encourages women to let go of striving, comparison, and fear of rejection. Oh my goodness. She previously served at Proverbs 31 Ministries and continues to write for their community today. Ashley has been married for 16 years and is the proud mama of two boys. She's in the Mob Society and loves connecting with others through laughter, vulnerability, and the powerful truth of God's transforming grace. Amen. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Also, her hair is herring today. I
I
just
did it
learned that.
today just for you guys.
Oh, thank you. I just learned that phrase. Somebody said to me my hair was herring, not presently, but and then I saw somebody else say it online. I was like, "Oh, are we saying this now? That the hair
I'm
is
in for it.
herring?"
Harris herring. I like it.
Okay. Okay, sis. So there you go, free of charge. All right. So we about to get into it. But first, I need Ashley, and this question was not on there. I need you to tell me about little Ashley.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because you're doing all the things on Instagram. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you a socialite? Were you gathering all the people when you were little? Were you finding out about their deepest, most innermost thoughts that they weren't sharing? Did you already know their innermost thoughts? We need to talk about little Ashley.
Okay. So I'm full introvert as far as I get my energy from being alone. Like I need a lot of alone time. Like you could ask my family. We're all like in our corners. Like, see you guys tomorrow.
You said that like you've been asked before and somebody did not believe that you
Oh,
were.
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I can be like, we have to as we adapted in life, like we have to be outgoing but it drains me. It drains me to be around a lot of people. Yeah. So little Ashley was a big dork. And I had huge glasses like this with
What?
hearts on the corners.
And
And
it's okay if you're out there and you have huge glasses with hearts on the corner. There is no shade being thrown in your
well, this was
direction.
like the 80s. Okay. So you have to imagine 80s glasses. Okay. This is not cool glasses of today. But yeah, and she really, I've always felt, and I feel like, we all are still a little bit of that person too, like I knew cool people, but I wasn't a cool person. Right? That's how I still feel. Like I hung out with the basketball players. They were like the cool group at my school, but like I wasn't like invited to parties. You know what I mean? Like,
Ashley, you've transitioned to the cool group.
well, it might look like that, but I still think I know cool people, but I'm not invited to the cool things. Like, so I still feel like I am in that. Like, maybe the perception isn't that, but like my experience is that. So
Well, and I'm glad you said that because we're in 2025 and we are in an era of perception.
correct.
Like we perceive you to be that on social media, so you are that. Um, right. We
When
perceive
something
you
else
to
is
be a
mine. Yeah,
millionaire.
yeah. Maybe not in reality, but
Yeah, so you are a millionaire. We perceive you to be whatever you purport yourself to be. That's I mean, that's where we are.
yeah.
Anyways, okay, so let's get into it.
Okay.
Y'all, if you don't know, Ashley has like a gabillion. What's that? Oh, what's the commercial? A gagillionaire? She has a gagillion
I wish
followers
I did. If that
on
was real.
Instagram. This is no lie. Like I think the last time when I was initially trying to get Ashley to do this interview, she was trying to get to 100,000. And she was like, I don't know what it is. I can't get there. And so she gets to 100,000. I think that week. The next time I went over to look at Ashley, she was at 300,000. I don't know where you are right now, but
I'm
the
at
numbers are
311 right now.
astronomical.
It's a slow grind these days, so it is what it
Okay.
is.
Okay, because the algorithm gods are not doing what they need to be doing right now.
Mhm.
Okay, so anyways, let's talk about it.
Okay.
How did you get started writing, speaking, social influencing? How did you get started in that?
Yeah, so I've always felt called to ministry since I was young, and I really thought that was going to be being a missionary. And I went to the mission field first. Like I served in Northern Ireland for about 3 years, and that's what I thought I was.
What? Who
Yeah,
goes to Ireland?
I know. I went there with Youth for Christ and Youth with a Mission, if you've heard of either of those. And so I did that, but then I've always kind of had an interest in writing, and like I remember being a freshman thinking like I should write this story. Kind of it's like in the back of your head. I remember when I was in Northern Ireland thinking about writing a book, but of course, like you don't know what that means or how that looks. So then I think it's just started morphing like over in like 2015 is when I really started trying to grow intentionally my Instagram, and I started sharing my depression journey, and I realized that a lot of people were resonating with that. And so I was like, I tried to write like my own book, like about which is I think where we all start. We all start with a memoir in mind.
I want to write a memoir.
Yeah. Even though no one's going to buy it because no one knows who I
The-
am.
and we're sorry if you're saying you want to write a memoir, but you do need to know that if people don't know you, they most likely won't buy your memoir.
Yeah.
They
And,
don't know
and you
about
can
your life.
intertwine it into your book. You intertwine your
That
story.
part.
Yeah. But it can't be just your story. Right.
Right.
So yeah, anyways, it's just been like a slow unraveling, and I don't really know. I didn't like set out with an intention. I was looking through my old Instagram posts and going through, thinking about this interview, and I was like, it was just a wild ride, and here we are. Da, 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 I don't know.
She says that, and I always look at her like, what you talk about, Ashley. But I think that when I think about you, Ashley, I think about your post, and I think about marketing. Marketing is there's so much psychology involved in marketing, and being able to get into the minds of the people that are, reading your stuff or looking at your ad or watching the commercial, blah 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 blah. And I would say, well, all the introverts that I know do that well.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, they sit back and they're like, she's dealing with insecurity, or he's secretly afraid, or, don't talk to that person. There's an issue going on, or something like that. And I don't know if that comes from being quiet a lot, or being people observers, or I don't know. But I think you do that well, because I think people keep coming back because they're like, that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly what I think. Blah, 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 blah. I think about that, but then I also think you might have a gift to market. I think you have a gift to market. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think so. And I've struggled with that because it doesn't seem very godly or holy. You know?
Some were pastors, some were preachers, and some were marketers.
Right. It doesn't like one of the spiritual gifts or the fruit of the spirit. But I think like as I was thinking through this, it's like I do think God gave me a strategic mind as well as a creative mind. And so I think that's his like unique, like, I don't know, pairing or grace. that my brain does think of, how does this resonate? And I think also, you mentioned me working out Proverbs 31, like so much of what I did there was learning about marketing. And so I think I fine tuned that in the
Mm-hmm.
back of my head as well. And then, have to release it over and over to the Lord, because like what we do is not about marketing, and it shouldn't lead. But it's still a skill, I guess, that we can have.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I'm thinking about Jesus. Like, Jesus was the ultimate marketer
Mm.
because we're still reading the Bible. We still out here reading the Bible.
Yeah.
That's the number one selling book of all time. Of
Mm.
all time.
Yeah.
So when you think about marketing, you want to kind of put it in a business box and not put it in a Christian box. Well, he didn't call it marketing, but
Mm.
that's what he did. Like when he was talking to the tax collector, he had a different language or things that he said, or when you're talking to the fisherman, or when you're talking to the prostitute, or you're talking to the Samaritan woman, you're not using the exact same language and dialogue and approach.
Right.
Even
Yep.
right, the whole
Mhm.
approach changed so that you can be effective for that group of people or that individual. So in that regard, it's holy.
Yeah. And I
you
think
know,
the Lord can sanctify and use whatever we give him.
Truth be told, and probably the church needs to lean more into that, because you can't walk up to everybody and be like, "Do you know Jesus?" That's not
Mm.
really gonna work. Or
Mm-mm.
let me pass you this Bible tract. No shade to the Bible tract, because there's been many people that's gotten saved from a Bible tract. But I'm saying that you need multiple strategies.
Sure.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
get into it. All
Yeah.
right, so I know what you're going to say, but I'm going to ask it anyways. How did you go from your first post to building the audience you have today?
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. My very first post is my now 15-year-old at his car's table eating broccoli. Okay, so that was
Oh,
that was my first
I should
post.
have asked you to bring that picture.
I know, I can send it to you if you want
Okay.
it. So and then I was trying to look on there, like I posted like we all did in 2010, like here's my dinner, here's me running on this path, just random stuff like that, all the way till 2015. And that's when I started like intentionally focusing on what does it mean to grow, what do I need to do, and creating a rhythm that wasn't just like me, sharing my life, but actually trying to transition to serving an audience. And so again, the iterations of this, like if you go and look through all my posts, which I don't recommend because it's really a lot,
I do
but
recommend it.
I went
Totally
through
disregard everything she just said. I recommend it.
a phase.
It's a
I
master
went through
class. It's a master class. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess like I went through a phase where I like hand lettered all my graphics. And then I went through a phase where all these different iterations, like that's my creativity just being like, I'm going to try this for a while. Or I want to make a grid. Remember when it was cool to have a grid that like connected to each other? And
I remember that. But then it got messed up when you posted a graphic and you
yes,
didn't have a grid to go with that graphic. So then it was like
yep,
everything was like,
yep,
I
wonky. And it
remember
was a
that.
nightmare. Yeah.
Jeez.
So I think it's just at the end of the day, at the very bottom line is just consistency. Is That's all it was, is just for I would say for 10 years straight, I've been consistent, and that is what has grown. I think you can build anything if you do anything consistently for 10 years.
Wow, that is a word straight from the Holy Ghost right there that she just said. You can build anything consistently. What do you say?
I think you can build anything of some kind of substance if you do it every day for 10 years.
Okay. I have some follow-up questions. So the first follow-up question is, what was that shift in you that was like, wait a minute, I'm about to be more strategic? Why did you want to be more strategic? And yeah, let's go there. I want to know that question.
I'm trying to think. I was started listening to a bunch of entrepreneurial like podcasts and things like that. I didn't understand why, because I was like, I'm not an entrepreneur. I have no idea. Like, I have no plans to become an entrepreneur, but I just found myself like gravitating to them. And so I would like consume all this content, and some of them started talking about growing your Instagram. And I think like, I don't know if this has worked for you this way, or other people listening, but it's like a seed in the back of your mind that the Lord's like, we're building this direction, and you don't know what it looks like or how to even do it, but you just start moving towards that. And so one of the things that they were teaching in one of these podcasts was how to intentionally grow. And I'm someone that loves research. I love to like figure, how does something work? And so I started researching like how to grow an Instagram on purpose. And I just started implementing those things over and over again. Just with the idea of, I feel like I want other people to experience what God has done in my life. I feel like I am created to teach something. And so I just felt like compelled, I guess you can say. I believe it's the Holy Spirit drives you from underneath, and you don't always even know why, but you're just like, I think I'll do this now.
Yeah, I feel that way about business, even though my business is not where I would want it to be. But I remember when I was a teacher, elementary school teacher, and I share this story a lot, but my husband was like, "Oh, you should be in marketing." And I was like, "That's crazy. That's dumb. I'm a teacher, but I have felt drawn to learn about business and to try to do things in business and to try and make money, and then made some. But I was like, oh wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I can relate to what you are saying. I think the other question is the approach that it's more of a comment. The
Mm.
approach that you have towards Instagram, and I've heard people say this, is that you should approach it like a science experiment where you're just trying different things and seeing what works.
Mm.
But for me, the challenge, and I imagine maybe some of you too might be saying it's been a challenge for me too, that you feel so tied to it. It's so personal.
Yeah.
It's so like a part of you. And it took you 5 hours to work on that carousel. 5 hours to come up with the quote, the perfect quote, and the perfect whatever in Canva.
Mm-hmm.
That when you don't get a like on it, it's personal.
Yeah.
What? I am mad.
Yeah.
I'm mad at all you people that say you're my friends, or you follow me on Instagram and you didn't heart my post.
Say it.
What's wrong with you? So but getting out of that and just being like, oh, that didn't work. Let's try something else. And I
Yeah.
feel like you have a healthy dose of that.
Yeah, I would say like, I guess for lack of a better term, like not feeling like precious about things, like but I will, yeah.
I'm sorry if y'all don't watch Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, exactly. A little golem in there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in a minority here. That's the only reason why I said that.
But I think what has helped me, and I think this comes from, again, the 10 years of practice, is that it doesn't take me a long time to create content. And that might be like a super strength to where I have templates and I'm just like, I'm throwing it in there and I'm posting it. Like, I'm an internal perfectionist, but I'm not a perfectionist in my house. I'm not a perfectionist in my work. Like, ask my editor. She's gonna tell you, punctuation, who cares?
So just have a whole page of a run on.
Yeah.
That is the sentence.
Yeah. And so I think like, although it can be a weakness, it can be a strength as well, where you're just like, I know, just like, I'm going to just try some things. And I think the Lord's really challenged me as well is, what are you actually trying to get from your audience that you need to be getting from me? Because if I really am there to serve them, they don't owe me anything. And I need to pour it out.
Ashley came to preach. Look, I had her on here to talk about Instagram, but she's trying to come up in here and bring some conviction.
Because it happens to me. Do you know what I mean? That's what the Lord's doing to me. Yeah.
Okay. Some of y'all had to scrape yourself up off the floor on that last one. I mean, I felt that too, actually, and even validation and affirmation is so subtle.
Oh
It
yeah.
is so subtle. It is so subtle where you just be like, oh, let me share this. And it's like, why are we sharing it? Or how many congratulations do you need? Or
Right. Right. Is it
what
ever enough even?
is it ever enough?
Mm.
Even okay, so y'all just in my personal quiet time with Jesus. Let's come out of that and go back to the interview. Okay. Do you think there was a specific post that was like a shift where it was just like, whoa? Oh, like Tap the Brown. Tap the I don't do you know Tap the
Yes.
Brown?
Mhm.
Okay, you know when she had that sandwich from Whole Foods. That's what did you know that
I
set
don't
off?
know that. I don't know.
She had a sandwich from Foods. I don't know what she was doing, but she went live and was like, this sandwich is so good. The sandwich is so good. And oh my gosh, y'all gotta go get it. And she was talking about the name of the sandwich and everything. And people like went over there and got it. And her numbers just kept going up, going up, going up. And she said to her husband, I think I'm going viral.
Wow.
And that's what set it off. Then she became like a spokesperson for Whole Foods and the
Wow.
whole nine.
Wow. Well, yeah, I don't think so. I honestly, like, I would, as I started trying to build, I would get viral, whatever that is. It's all like in perspective of what is viral. So, like,
Right.
like a
That's a
couple
good
thousand
point.
likes and you're like, going viral.
But
Um,
I know what virility would look like for me if I'm consistently getting like 2 likes on something and all of a sudden I get 500. I'm gonna be like, oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah,
So it is relative. I'm glad you said that.
yeah.
Virility is relative.
Yeah. And so like that would happen. And then, crickets for a long time. So I've had some that popped off, so to speak, but I don't think it was one thing like Tabitha that like changed everything for me. I think out in the Instagram streets, like I'm here, I'm still here, just trying things.
Oh my gosh. It's feeling like that on Instagram. I don't know what happened to that algorithm.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened to a lot of algorithms, but we're not
Mhm.
going to talk about it.
Mhm.
Okay. What helped you narrow your focus without feeling like you were boxing yourself in? Because I heard you say that you were talking about your depression journey.
Mhm.
But and then nobody wants to be the depression girl. Or like
Right.
right now, I'm the father wound girl. And I'm like, but
Yeah.
they're so versatile. But
Yes.
I've seen that where people like lock in. All
Right.
they talk about is relationships. All they talk about is dating. All they talk about is depression. All they talk about is this.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, or what did you do?
When I was coming up and listening to these entrepreneurial things, everyone said niche down, and I would like really balk against that. Like, I won't. You can't make me.
Tell me the niche.
Yeah. But and like I said, like I've been on this crazy journey. I think my niche, and maybe you can relate to this, is whichever message I'm working on right now. that's my niche, because especially if you're going to get into a rhythm of writing books, it takes 2.5, 3 years, so you can become the go-to person on that specific topic over that time, mostly because you're in it. Like, you're writing about it, you're living it, you're reliving it, whatever the case may be. Or usually the Lord makes you live your message, the whole time. uh,
And you should write that down if you aspire to write a book.
Correct. Yes, because if you don't name your book Tired of Trying, unless you want to be tired of trying for like 5 years.
Don't talk about I'm gonna give you tips to have a healthy marriage. If you ain't ready forgot to set a bomb off in your marriage.
Yeah,
Well, I'm not gonna say he's gonna say he will allow the bomb to go off.
yes, and it's so real because the oil comes out of the crushing. Like, what we're trying to give
That's me.
away.
Reaching up in here. Oh my gosh.
So
Yes.
that's the way he keeps us dependent on him, to be like, this is not about you, but you just have to know what you're signing up for. So I think, like, I let myself change niches with the message that the Lord has me currently flowing in.
I think that's good. I was talking to this guy that's a professional podcast creator. Just in case you don't know about these things, you can get a podcast person to come to your house, film everything for $1,500, which apparently is on the low end, and you'll get 4 episodes. Anyway, so I was just going to do a consult.
Yeah.
And the guy looks at my Instagram and he's like, "Oh, I see you're just kind of a little bit of a hodgepodge of everything." I was like
yeah, thank you.
He was like, "You don't really have a focus. It's not really clear." So I didn't know how to deal with that, and I'm still not really knowing how to deal with that. So that's why I am on that.
Yeah, I think really asking the Lord, like, what direction are we going through to next? Like, where is my like top focus? I think it all starts with the Lord. And sometimes we're in between seasons. I mean, you might be coming out of that message, but coming to something else. And so you're just like not quite to the next.
And he told me, and I didn't like what he said. So that's a whole nother
Yes,
interview.
that's another episode, right?
Another interview. So he did tell me, and I was like,
no thanks.
I'm not even joking. Okay. What kinds of posts, reels, carousel, stories, lives have given you the highest engagement?
So this changes, as we know, like as the algorithm changes. So I would say like in 2022, 2021, reels were the thing. And I got a few that, hit the like 3 million, let's say. Well, now I post reels and they're like crickets, like very rarely.
Your cricket is not like my cricket.
Well, I think
your cricket is looking like a ginormous roach. My cricket is looking like a little baby.
All like in perspective of what we're used to and all of that kind of stuff. But like, if you're going to think like truly like maybe you land on the explore page with your content, that has to be something of, significant numbers. And now I'm seeing more carousels that are doing that in 2025, and reels are not barely reaching anyone. So
wow. And would you say with the reels, I mean, no, not the reels, the carousels, and I've seen these too, that it's like when the person is putting their actual like thoughts, but not like what they really think, and stringing that together, as opposed to like quotes, well-crafted quotes and things like that?
Yeah, I would say like the way our social media is right now is the more authentic, gritty, real, like how you would talk to your sister. If you can structure social content that way, it's going to do way better than Christianese or pretty formats. And even, I mean, now that ChatGPT is in the works, it's going to become even more obvious of like, because ChatGPT can't say it with grit. They can't say it like how you would say it from your gut. And so I think social's so worn out by like typical that the more gritty that it can be, the more it resonates.
Hey sis, I hope you enjoyed that interview snippet, and I want you to be sure and check out Entrusted Women University by visiting membership.entrustedwomen.com to see the interviews in their entirety. And join us next week for more content to help you on your writing and